Well, I figured I would just give it one more go. Why not? I think I am going to go ahead and talk about the remake and the prequel. So let me get them out together. There we are. So I figured I might as well go ahead and talk about these, just because these do, just like the first movie, these do hold kind of a special place in my heart. I did grow up, especially the first movie came out whenever I was very young. It came out in 2003. I remember when that came out. That was the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre I ever saw. I didn't know that there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, I thought that was a completely original. I was very young. I thought it was a completely original movie. My parents were the ones who told me that it is an original film, and that there were several more. And at that point, you know, of course, there was only the first 4 that I've talked about, and it just spiraled me down a giant rabbit hole. And I fell in love with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, so these are honestly the movies I need to talk about these, especially with the 50th anniversary. You know, I definitely need to talk about these because they are a big. These two, especially this movie, is the reason why I know about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's, you know, and honestly, that's kind of what sparked my love of horror. My parents were always horror movie fans, but this is the movie that kind of took me off in my own direction and really started getting into, you know, horror films. And so yeah, so let's talk about it. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to talk about the remake first because it came out first. So this came out in 2003, I believe. Like I said, I was very young. This is still the original DVD I've had since then, or I should say probably my parents' DVD, because I was really young. I didn't buy DVDs back then. But this movie, when it came out, I remember it freaked me out so bad. I thought it was so disturbing and so raw and just nasty, you know, and violent and scary and just atmospheric. And it has so much stuff going on in it, and I thought it was real whenever I was younger, you know, because of course this is the movie that pretty much convinced the entire world that, you know, this was a true story. You know, I couldn't tell you how many people I went to school with who their mom said that they went to school with, you know, Thomas Hewitt, or their uncle was in the same prison, or, you know, yada yada yada, all this bullshit that's not true. It's not a true story, but of course the beginning of this doesn't help out in the belief of that. But I really like it. You know, I think it works really to the credit of this movie big time. I love the kind of found footage mockumentary style stuff, and I love that they open the movie up with this. It's essentially a rehash of the first story. It's, you know, 5 teens, or not even teens. These are, again, sort of young adults, you know, probably in their mid to late 20s, you know, that are on a road trip. I believe they're going to a Leonard Skinner concert, if I'm not mistaken. And they come across a hitchhiker, which is not the brother this time. It's somebody. It's somebody completely different. So they do kind of tarry off in that direction. And it's not a complete like shot-for-shot remake, like, you know, like the Psycho remake or something like that. But it does have the same kind of formula to it. One thing I will say about this movie does get a lot of crap. Nowadays, especially, a lot of people kind of shit on it for one reason or another, but I love it. I have nothing against it. I think that it's acted fairly well. I like the gore. I like the violence. I love the setting. I love the atmosphere. I love the tone of it. It's very like, I don't know. The only thing I guess I could complain about, if I could have any, I've always got a complaint. So I guess the only thing I could complain about is it has a very kind of greenish sort of tint to the movie. It doesn't feel like the first movie. You feel, you know, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you feel like you're in the summer Texas heat. You know, you feel that sun, you know, and I mean, believe me, I know I'm sweating sitting in this room doing this review right now, you know, in the Texas heat in the middle of August, you know, but I definitely feel that. This movie doesn't really. This movie is a very kind of cool tone to it, which again is not a problem. I like the way it looks. If you've seen the Friday the 13th remake, which I believe is done by the same people, it has that same feel. I believe this is a Michael Bay movie. Who directed this? Marcus Nispel directed this. So yeah, But I don't have a problem with this. It's a very good movie. I was gonna say I enjoy it. It's very violent. It's scary. It's very over the top. A lot of folks, like I said, shit on it nowadays, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. Every time, even if I'm not doing a marathon, I will throw this one on every once in a while if I want to watch a more, kind of serious take, or, something like that. But I don't really generally like a lot of horror movie remakes, but this is one that I did, most definitely. So, anyway, moving on, I'll go ahead and start talking about the prequel. Now, a lot of love for this one. I don't love this one nearly as much as I love the remake. This is the unrated director's cut. It's too shocking for theaters. I've had this for a very long time. But this one came out in like 2006, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So about 3 years later is when this came out. But it takes place, I want to say, 6 to 7 years before this movie, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's 1966, 67. I don't know. Don't quote me. It's been a while since I've seen this one. I didn't watch this one. I haven't watched this one near as much as the remake here. But I have, whenever it first came out, I was in love with it. It was great. But and it is a good movie. It's very well shot, and honestly, they fixed the problem from this one. Like how I said, with just that camera kind of blue tint or greenish tint that it has. Again, it's not a problem. It's just this one you do get that summer Texas hot kind of feel in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. It very much gives you that, and the characters are all, returned from this movie, which I really love. I think it's the same guy who plays Leatherface, but Leatherface looks a lot different in this movie. So you do get the origin of the birth of Leatherface, the origin, how he started killing folks, how they started having to cannibalize their victims, things like that. This kind of retreads the formula of the first movie, for I think it's four teenagers, road trip, get into a car accident, sheriff comes to help, and he's not a sheriff, he's a nasty cannibal man, that is one of the Hewitts, So that is another thing I forgot to mention with the remake, is they did change the name of the family. They're not the Sawyers anymore. He's Thomas Hewitt. They're the Hewitt family, which I don't really know why they did that necessarily. And all the character names are changed. I don't know why they did that, really and truly. But I mean, it is what it is. They can do what they want with it. They were the ones doing the movie. But I don't hate this movie. I just don't think they explain just every little thing, and that's not really, I don't have to know how Uncle Monty lost his legs or how Arlie Ermey's character lost his teeth. I don't need to see those things. I don't need to know that, or how Arlie Ermey became the sheriff. I mean, yes, some of those are fine. I don't mind seeing that, but it's not like. It's just like with Solo, a Star Wars story. I've said this about this movie a lot, which maybe I'll talk about Star Wars one day. I do love Star Wars, but Solo, a Star Wars story, in a way, is it's like the character, everything that he ever talked about, like all the Han Solo lore, happens to him in like a week, or like a couple of days. That's essentially this. So everything that sets up that this family does and how this family is in this movie, it happens in a week, basically, in this, after Leatherface is born and blah, 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 all that good stuff. But, so that's the only thing I don't like. I hate when movies over-explain stuff. Like, you can leave some mystery in there. I like a little bit of mystery and a little bit of wonder when I can kind of put it together myself. Like, I don't always have to, me personally, I don't have to be explained everything. And honestly, I would have been fine if they never made the beginning. If this movie was just a standalone film, like, I would be perfectly fine with this just being a standalone remake. I would have no problem with that. But they are a fun kind of back-to-back watch, just because they have a very similar, they're, again, same characters, kind of same feel, same story, same location. So I love that, just because they got their continuity. to a T. But again, I just feel like they explain a little too much. But again, the gore is amazing. It's top notch. Everything is awesome. The actors are fairly, pretty good. I don't really care for the final girl in this movie as much, but I do like the ending. I really like how they ended this movie. I did not expect them to do this. I'm not going to spoil it, but good for you guys for ending it the way that you did. I appreciated that. Again, I'm not going to give it away, but if you watch it, I liked that ending. A lot of people maybe didn't. And there is an alternate ending, which I've seen. I don't really care for the alternate ending too much, but I do like, it's essentially the same thing, just kind of different situation, but I felt that the ending that they went with in this one was just a lot more true to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And unlike the original movie and all the subsequent sequels, there's a lot of chainsaw massacring going on in these movies. Honestly, I don't know if I've said it in the other one, in the other videos, but not a lot of folks die from chainsaw-inflicted wounds, but in these movies, they definitely do. But anyway, I just figured I'd throw one more in here. Why not? Like I said, these movies hold a very special place in my heart, especially the 2003 remake, but I've got to give some love to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, because it does everything just fine. There's no issues. It is what it is, and it exists, and it does just fine. And I'll watch it. If I'm watching this one, I'm gonna watch this one. But I don't usually watch this one first. I'll normally watch them backwards. I normally do this one first, and then this one. I don't know why, but that's normally how I do it. But who cares? I can do whatever I want. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. If anybody is watching this at all, I could just be talking to myself, but that's fine. I've got to talk to somebody about this, and, nobody quite listens to you like yourself, So, anyway, thank you so much. Stay tuned for whatever I decide to review next. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I'm sorry for the revolving kind of change. I'm kind of sticking with this for now, this kind of setup that I've got here, just because I like this, but it'll probably turn into something different eventually. I don't know. I can't make my mind up. But anyway, thank you so much. Have a great day. Definitely check out Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre the beginning anytime you get the chance, especially the unrated version. So, have a great day.